Life is busy and life is loud. How can you get above the noise? Join former Nebraska cheerleader Ashlee Mitchell as she tells you about her experiences in front of the loudest crowds in college athletics and how she rose above the noise. This is Above the Noise on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Ashlee Mitchell.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Above the Noise, the podcast where I talk with people who are chasing big goals and learning to stay grounded along the way. I'm your host, Ashlee Mitchell, and today I have a very, very special guest, the Brooklyn Miller.
Hello.
And Brooklyn is one of my 1L classmates, so she is currently in law school at Nebraska, but she also was a former cheerleader at one of the top high school cheerleading programs at Millard West. So she has just such a fun and interesting story to tell us today. How are you doing, Brooklyn?
I'm so good. How are you?
Good. All right, so let's just get right into it. Brooklyn, where did you grow up? Did you grow up in Nebraska or where are you
Omaha,
from?
Nebraska, my whole life. Yep.
Your whole life.
Mhm.
All right, and then you went to undergrad in
Yes.
Nebraska, right?
Yes.
Okay, wow. So you've been here for a
long time.
long time.
Almost 23 years.
My goodness. Okay, so I know I just introduced you and I said that you were in law school, but can you tell us a little bit more about what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I went to UNL, as you said, for undergrad, where I majored in criminal justice and minored in psychology. And I have a big passion for fitness, staying active, and I'm really excited to talk about that with you today.
Let's go. Okay, now back to the roots. This is how we met, guys. So Brooklyn and I cheered together our freshman year of high school. I ended up moving into all-star cheer, but Brooklyn stayed with not all-star cheer, high school cheer at Millard West. Tell us a little bit about that. That was incredible.
Yeah, so I was a gymnast growing up. I wasn't very good. I just did it for fun. But when I really started to grow in my skills was when I joined the cheer team at Millard West. Because some of my friends were doing it. I was like, I'll do it too. And then I ended up loving it. Yeah, Millard West has a very notorious program, very competitive. It is unlike any other high school cheer program in Nebraska, at least. But it was a lot of fun, taught me a lot of lessons, and it was very rewarding.
That's so cool. Yeah, Millard West. So I don't know, how many national championships had they won?
Oh, gosh. It was 10 when I was there, but it's got to be like 13 or something now. I don't even know. I can't keep track.
So in the cheer world, that's a big deal. So like high school cheer, they only have one nationals every year, right? Mm-hmm. So that's huge.
Yeah.
They have won for so many years in a row. I believe they get like that white jacket,
right? Jacket, yes.
It's this like famous white jacket in the cheerleading world. So like whenever you see it, you're like, oh my gosh, she's really good.
Yeah.
And so they are really good. Okay. So with that, do you want to explain a little bit about high school cheer? And then we'll move on from cheer and talk about how that relates to your real life.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about what that was like.
Yeah. So I feel like the biggest thing cheer taught me was to have a balance between work and play. Obviously, like in any sport, you need to put your head down, work hard, grow your skills, all that. But it's also important to take a step back and have fun. Because if you don't have fun in the sport that you're doing, then what's the point? Like,
That's
yeah,
so
you need
true.
to be serious. Yeah, you need to work hard, but you also need to have fun while you're doing it, make friends.
Yeah.
So that kind of translated to my personal life. I need to work hard in school, get good grades, but I also need to have fun along the way.
That's so good. And I also like see that totally with you during our 1L year, just because you do put your head down and you like grind.
Yes.
But you make sure to get all of your work done in order to have time to hang out with people and friends.
That is so important.
Yeah, stay well rounded. I really like that. That's super cool. I think also another thing about cheer is like you guys, like not you guys specifically, but all cheerleaders I've met are just so goofy and fun.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
you just always have this image built up in your head that cheerleaders are maybe like a little bit more serious or stuck up or just very like sweet and silly and ditzy and whatever image people have.
Cheer team was probably like the goofiest
So silly.
group of girls I have ever been around. It was awesome.
Like
But also so hardworking and disciplined at the same time.
Right. Like you guys knew when to joke and when to lock in. And
Yeah.
I really appreciated that about you guys. That was funny. Okay. From your cheer days, this is the last cheer question. I promise I'll get out of your hair after this. What was your favorite memory?
I feel like I can't close the yearbook. My favorite memory had to be winning that national title in 2020 in February, right before the pandemic hit. We were coming back from the year before getting second place, which to anyone that might seem amazing to get second place, but in the Millard West cheer world, that you might as well got dead last. So we worked super hard, practiced our routines over and over, and won that title. And it was just really rewarding to see all of that hard work pay off and be tangible with that white jacket. It was awesome. Definitely my favorite memory.
That's so sweet. Okay, now moving on kind of from cheer to career, we'll say. Tell me about these lessons that you learned from cheer and this hard work, other than what we just talked about with you saying that you knew there was a time for fun and there was a time for seriousness. Was there anything else that really transitioned from cheer to your life after?
I feel like one big takeaway I had, especially that year winning the national title with my team, was that things aren't just handed to you. So the year before, like I said, we didn't get first place, we got second place, but the seniors on our team were kind of misleading and be like, we're gonna win this, we're Millard West, like we always win, this is what we do, we won last year, we're gonna win it, we're just so good. And then we didn't. And so I was like, I had this expectation that we were gonna win because the older girls told me that, and then we didn't. And so we all went back the next year and tried even harder, because the national title isn't just handed to you. Yeah, we win it a lot, but it's not just handed to us. We worked hard. And so I feel like that kind of translated beyond that things aren't just handed to you, because you have to like really work for it. So kind of like with going to law school, I had to work super hard on the application. I had to study for hours for the LSAT. I wasn't just handed it.
Yeah. Oh gosh, we'll talk about that too for a second. So for most of the people who are listening who don't know how to get into law school or what the trials of getting into law school is like, let's talk about that. So you had to take the LSAT. What is the LSAT?
That's the first thing you have to do to get into law school, is take the LSAT. It's a 3-hour test.
Yes.
Isn't it? I think it's got a few different sections to it. It's all multiple choice questions. And the thing that's different about it is it's not testing your knowledge on the law like the MCAT. To get into medical school, it's testing your knowledge on like biology and chemistry and stuff. The LSAT is testing how well you can take a test and is predicting how well you're going to do in law school. So it doesn't necessarily relate to what you're going to learn content-wise in law school, but it relates to kind of how you think. The test is trying to see if you can think like a law student would think or like a lawyer would think.
Wow. That was perfectly said, honestly. I was trying to think about how I would have described it, and that was spot on. Yeah, so the LSAT, man,
it's a stressful test. It is.
Yeah. And it really does. It has so many different types of questions. I have noticed, like, as a law student now, that I am using skills I learned from the LSAT.
I've been noticing that too. I'm like, so that's why they tested me on that. That seemed pointless while I was studying it, but now I'm actually like applying those concepts.
Yeah. And I think the hardest thing was to truly realize, like, the point of it when you were an undergrad was you just felt like you were studying for something that made no sense at all. Yeah. And you were like, this isn't even talking about the law or anything I'm going to learn. And now that we are students, I do like that it clicks now.
Yeah, and the other funny thing about it was, a year and a half ago when I was taking the LSAT, it was like such a big deal because that's one of the main things that law schools look at when looking at applications. Yeah. But now that we're in school, it doesn't even matter.
We don't even talk about it.
Forget about that score. It doesn't matter. You're all here now.
That's so true. Yeah, they're like, you will never hear, like, after you get accepted into school, you will never hear about your LSAT score again. Yeah. You might use the skills, but yeah, you'll never hear about it again. And then the applications. That was a whole nother beast. We'll go through that quick. You basically just.
Biggest thing would be the personal statement. Yeah. I think all the schools I applied to is pretty open-ended. Just kind of say why you're a good candidate for law school, what makes you want to go to law school. And that was definitely very time consuming to work on because the hardest thing for me was the page limit. So it'd be like a 2-page limit. I'm like, I have so much stuff I want to say. Like, I want to tell you about this and this and this, but keeping it concise and to the point.
Yeah. And you're like, I want to explain, like, I want to sound special to these schools, and I need to explain my whole life story.
Yeah.
How do I explain
How do you
it?
set yourself out from the 1,000 other people who are applying in a page and a half or 2 pages?
And just because of the world we live in now, a lot of people started wanting to go to law school for different reasons, of course, but the application cycle has been highly competitive the past few years.
Yes.
So even just like,
especially this year, it was very, very competitive. I think they said they had 1.5 times the amount of people applying this year than they did last year.
Yeah. So it's just interesting because each school has about a spot of, and this is just an estimate, 150 kids normally. So you get so many applicants, but they maybe accept too many at the beginning, and then they have to really slow things down until the end of the application cycle. That just leads to a lot of stress and craziness. But we're in now.
We're in now. So.
We're in now. We're in now. And now we're in classes together, which is so fun.
It's very surreal. Just going from last year, us both talking about going to law school to like, we're actually here.
That's crazy. So last year, me and Brooke were in a study abroad.
Yes.
And I remember us just talking about it. And we just were like, we don't know where we're going to go, what's going on. We just want to do it.
How hardworking you were. We were 6-hour time difference from Nebraska, and she was still attending her LSAT tutoring session.
Oh, that was horrible. So I studied for the LSAT for about a year, and I did have a tutor, which she was incredible. I remember when I was in England, yes, that was a hidden memory.
It was like, Ashlee, it's your birthday. We're in London. Can you take the day off?
It was like, it was my birthday. It was like 8 a.m. in England, and I was studying, and then it was like 5 p.m. and I was doing it again. And everybody was like, Ashlee, you're crazy. And I was like, guys, you don't understand. I can't afford to go to law school unless I get a good score.
No, I feel like that's been something that we have had to figure out in law school is the balance between our personal life and law school, because being a law student is not my whole personality. It's not my whole life. I have friends.
And it's hard to separate.
I have hobbies outside of law school. So that's been, a hard thing to separate.
Okay, let's talk about that. How do you separate that?
It took me a while. We're about 2 months into law school. I'm a very routine-oriented person.
Yeah.
And so being thrown into law school, not knowing what I'm doing, has been really hard. But I just had to learn to set a routine and make sure to set aside time for myself. I think a big thing is leaving my backpack at school so that I can't do homework at home. Like, my evenings need to be to myself. My weekends need to be to myself. I think treating it like a full-time job, I'm there like 7 to 5 Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, I try to have that time to myself.
And I think that's really healthy. I think that's been one thing that I'm struggling with. So that's why I was like, I would love to hear. I feel I don't leave my backpack at school, and I probably should, but I will catch myself at like 8:30 or 9, just itching to pull out a book. It's like I'm an addict to the law school books, and I'll pull them out and I'll start reading, and I'm like,
I think it also depends on what kind of person you are, because my brain does not work after 5. I'll pull out my book at 7 p.m., but it takes me an hour to read one case, and I'm like, this isn't even worth it at this point. I'm not doing myself any good. So I think it's all about your personal routine and lifestyle and how your brain works. Some people study late at night and that works for them. Me, I'm an early bird. I like to get up at 6 a.m. and I'm at school when the library doors open every day.
And I think also it's learning when to stop, because that is something I learned this year as well. Going back to the studying at 8 p.m. thing, I had to learn that I can't read after a certain amount of hours of studying. And when I start to even get like a little bit of trouble reading, I need to just cut myself off and go do something else and focus on something else other than school.
Again, learning when to stop. The workload never does end. You're never going to be done. There's always something you could be doing. There's something you could be reading. So learning when to stop is big. And one of the biggest tips that I learned from your TikTok actually was that it's okay to not cross everything off your to-do list. And I've taken that to heart. Like, that has changed me genuinely. Good. Because I write everything I need to do in my to-do list. And the other day I didn't cross off a couple things and I was stressed about it. And I'm like, you know what, it's okay. I don't have to
Yes.
cross off everything. It's not ever going to be done. But if I'm doing my best, I get done as many things as I can get done. I can work on that a little bit tomorrow. It's okay to not cross everything off your to-do list.
Yes. And I think also for the people who are listening who don't know what law school is like, you have a never-ending to-do list.
Yes.
And it seriously feels like there's always more work to be done. And I'm glad that you took that to heart, because that took me a couple of like soul-searching moments to figure out, because I kept having kind of like breakdowns, not even like crying or anything, but just feeling so like empty and sad because I couldn't get everything done, because I am such an unorganized, detail-oriented person where I need everything checked off for me to feel like I did it. And I couldn't check off a single thing because it was never finished. And so when I made that video, actually, it was more of a message to myself, I think, than to everybody else. But I was like, I think it's a great point and I wanted to post it. But yeah, I don't think I've gotten anything checked off today other than maybe making lunch. Like everything else.
I woke up today, check, and I drove myself to school, check.
Yep.
Some days that's the best you can do.
Exactly. And you kind of have to find those little wins too, I think, with law school. Like, okay, I woke up and I got my coffee, and that might be the best part of my day, and that's okay. Because you know what? Tomorrow I'm gonna find a way to bring something fun into the evening or something restful. That's been big for me, is like, what do I find rest in? Because I sometimes find rest in plans with friends, but I've found recently sometimes that makes me more tired. Yes. So I've been like figuring out, okay, do I need to read a book, or do I need to watch TV? Do I need to just lay there and think?
Yeah.
Like get my thoughts out of my head. So that's been really important for me. Do you feel like you have to kind of schedule in rest times like that for yourself?
Yes, I actually schedule little rest breaks throughout the day. If I've been studying for like, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour straight, I'm going to take 10 minutes and I'm going to play solitaire. And I'm going to watch a YouTube video during the day, because I can't study for 10 hours straight and not have little breaks. So yeah, I'll be like, okay, I have 10 minutes of Instagram reel scroll time and then back to studying, or I'm going to watch a funny YouTube video and play Sudoku, and then I'm going to get back to it. Because if I don't give myself that time to reset my brain, then I'm not able to focus, and I get very overwhelmed and stressed. So scheduling my little breaks throughout the day.
Yes. And I think we were actually talking about this. Going on walks has been like a great thing for me. And I know Brooke and I are planning on going on a walk soon for a little study break sometime this week. But going on walks has like completely changed my mindset. I feel like I get to think about other things, because when I'm walking around, I'm looking around at outside. I'm not thinking about school or textbooks or text. Like I just put my phone away. And so that's been really nice. And on East Campus, I don't know if you guys know this.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. There are also horses and cows.
Yes, there is.
So that's been something, like I take a break and I go see the horses. And that's been like really fun for me lately.
I feel like exercise breaks has been a big thing, because it is really hard to sit on your butt for 10 hours straight or however long you're studying. So just getting your body up and moving, getting your blood flowing, I feel like it resets my focus and I'm ready to go back to studying with an even sharper mind.
That's so good. And Brooke over here is our workout queen. So I took a little bit of time off this summer from working out, and I asked her, I said, hey girl, I know you go to the gym a lot. Can we work out after classes? Which I've been slacking. We've been on different schedules, so I've been going to the gym separate from her. But she and I started working out after classes, and Brooke, you were just so motivated and so knowledgeable about this stuff. How did you find a passion for working out?
So I first got into lifting my senior year of high school when the cheer season was ending, and I was like, if I don't have a coach forcing me to run or forcing me to lift or forcing me to work out, I need to figure out how to do it on my own. So my dad actually taught me how to lift. He played football in college for a little bit, so he knows a thing or two about lifting. And so he taught me everything I know about lifting, and I ran with it.
And you just kept going.
Yeah, nice. I feel like working out for me, I'm very self-driven. I don't like taking workout classes. I've never tried like Pilates. I've tried spin, but I don't like someone telling me what to do. So I write my own workout plans and put my headphones on and lift heavy weights.
When you first started getting into that after the transition from cheer, I know you said you're self-motivated. But was it hard going from doing all these exercises with a team to doing it by yourself?
Yes, it was, in the sense that I'm not forced to practice at this time every day, and you have to get this done at practice. You have to run this many laps. It's all on my own. I need to find the time to work out. I need to get myself to the gym, and I need to put together a workout and actually do it. So that was kind of hard, but after practice it became easy.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in the spot where you were your senior year of high school. That's where I'm at right now. It's still, and I talk about this probably like once every couple of podcasts or radio episodes, but I still am struggling to find that intrinsic motivation. But I think it's also one of those things. I was kind of doing some research on it. I don't want to be a New Year's resolutioner with this. I really want to like put my head down and focus and get into this so that it's a habit, like what we were talking about earlier. How do you recommend I do that and not be a New Year's resolutioner, you could say, where I'm like, I'm going to work out and then I never do?
I would say find what works best for you. For me, like I said, it was lifting. I also like to do a little bit of running, but find what's going to keep you motivated, what's not going to make you bored. The reason I don't only run is because I would be so bored. It's really boring and is really hard and miserable, but makes me feel good. So I would say find a form of workout that works good or makes you feel good. I mean, we lifted a little bit together.
Yeah.
There's also, like I said, Pilates, cycling classes, HIIT classes, CrossFit. I feel like maybe try a little bit of everything and find what sticks with you.
Like what you enjoy, like what you feel motivated to go do every day.
Lifting is what I like to do because I like feeling strong. I like looking strong. I like lifting heavy weights. And that's what motivates me, is being able to add more weight to the bar.
That's really good. I also I've been doing a lot of random research lately, habit stacking. So I feel like the other day I was running on the treadmill because I was trying to work out, and I just was feeling so stressed out about school. I ended up turning on a video about one of the confusing contracts topics that we were talking about in school. And that was kind of like, it made me feel better by the end of it, because not only did I understand this topic in school more, but I had also ran for 20 minutes and I didn't even notice because I was so focused on something else.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful for me. I don't think I could do that while lifting.
See, that's where we differ, is because I go to the gym to get law school out of my brain.
I know the other day she and I were doing something outside of school and she goes, Ashlee,
Stop talking about
school.
None of that tonight.
Which actually is a great topic. Separating yourself from that stuff. I know we talked about that earlier, but it is so important. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I catch myself doing. When you get into modes where you're kind of like spiraling, it doesn't even have to be bad, but when you're thinking about school or something constantly, what do you do to separate yourself from that?
I feel like finding ways to distract myself and remembering that spiraling and stressing over school is not doing me any good. Again, there has to be that point in the day where you just need to put the book down and do something else, because you're not benefiting yourself if you keep spiraling or stressing about it. That's so really just finding a way to distract myself. Usually that's scrolling on TikTok or something like that, watching a movie.
Scrolling on TikTok with her cat. All right, guys, we are headed over to our first break. But again, this is Above the Noise with Ashlee Mitchell and Brooklyn Miller.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th, when every red tagged machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
Imagine hitting rewind on your life. 10, even 20 years. With testosterone therapy from Limitless Male, you can turn back the aging clock and get your edge, energy, and confidence back. If you've lost your drive, sleep deprived, muscle loss, belly fat, irritable, you're not the guy you once were. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Male. More and more men are realizing hormone replacement can turn back the clock. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People Seeding Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Husker fans know when you work together, great things happen. At Cornhusker Bank, they're more than your financial partner. With 5 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Omaha, they're your neighbors, your teammates, and your biggest fans. Whether you're saving for your first home, planning your future, or growing your business, they're right here in Nebraska to help you move forward together. Visit cornhusker.bank to learn more. Cornhusker Bank, member FDIC. Doing life together.
Deciding on a college with your high school senior can be a little overwhelming for parents. But applying for money to pay for it is simple. FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, is now easier than ever with fewer questions and faster fill-out times. If you have a high school senior, now is the time to apply for thousands of dollars for classes, books, and housing. Get started, Nebraska, at dothefafsa.org. Sponsored by Education Quest Foundation. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to Above the Noise on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Ashlee Mitchell.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to Above the Noise. I'm your host, Ashlee Mitchell, and today, again, I have a really special guest, Brooklyn Miller.
Hello.
So earlier we were just talking a little bit about law school applications, the cycle, and how she manages her health and wellness through her everyday life. Now we are going to get into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty of it. Brooklyn, what does your day-to-day schedule look like? Let's talk about that.
So I wake up at like 6:15. I'm actually a morning person, so it's not that bad. Feed my cat, who begs me for food like she hasn't been fed for days.
What's your cat's name?
Ruby. She's the sweetest
name's
little
Ruby.
cat. And then I head to school. The doors open at 7, and I'm usually one of the first people in there. I sit in the same spot every single day.
Where is it? I gotta know.
It's It's at one of the tables in the library that faces the window because I need to get some daylight in. I used to lock myself in the study room in the mornings. Like, no, I need some sun. I need some like daylight.
It does. It makes you more tired. I feel like when you don't get enough sun.
Yeah. And then head to my first class of the day, contracts, 9 a.m.
Woohoo!
And then after that, I usually go into a study room, do my readings for my next class of the day, eat lunch, go to my next class, which is usually it's always torts or crim law from 1:30 to 2:45. We only have 2 classes a day, so that's pretty manageable that we kind of have the time in between to do whatever we want or study however we want. Some people like to go to the gym or go home. You walk your dog.
Yep.
I usually just stay at school and read cases. And then after torts, I'll usually head to the gym, get a lift in, go running, whatever I need to do to get my body moving. And then after that, I'll go home and I'll eat dinner. And then me and my boyfriend usually like to do something fun, like we'll go get crumble or...
Always crumble. They always get crumble.
Get crumble once a week, every week. But I like to keep, like, incorporate fun things to my daily routine just to keep me motivated. Something to look forward to at the end of the day. And then we'll lay on the couch and I might do a little bit more homework. I might scroll through reels and then I'm usually in bed by 9:30, go to bed by 10 and get up and do it again the next day.
So something that she told me today that was just so funny. We were talking about Christmas gifts and she goes, yeah, I think I might ask for a Crumble gift card for Christmas. And I was just like, this is so
actually, they have Crumble gift cards at Costco. I think it's like $100 gift card for $75.
She needs that. She needs it.
You save money by buying the gift cards.
Genuinely, the highlight of
$25, and that's what I want for my birthday.
It's always, what is it? It's Crumble or pizza, right? Or was it tacos? You guys always get something else.
Pizza and Chipotle.
Chipotle.
And Cane's.
Yep. I'm always like, hey, what'd you do yesterday? I got Crumble. And I'm like, that is incredible. And I should go get some.
I think it's so important to keep a balance, especially with my diet.
Yes.
Because I do eat healthy 90% of the time. I eat lean ground beef for almost every meal. I eat fruit. I eat Greek yogurt.
Yep.
I drink a lot of water. But honestly, that's kind of boring. So to kind of mix it up with some unhealthy foods, I feel like keeps me motivated to eat healthy the time where I'm not eating unhealthy food. So I think keeping a balance with your diet, at least for me, is very important.
Yeah. And you seem to have a really good balance. I really admire that about you because some people eat unhealthy and feel like they need to work out even harder the next day. And I feel like you keep a consistent routine.
Or sometimes people might go into a spiral of, oh, I ate unhealthy last night. I'm just going to eat unhealthy today and I'll start my diet next week. No, it's okay to eat unhealthy once. Just get right back to it, eating healthy.
I really like that. That's a great point. Another thing to talk about, when you were saying we only have 2 classes, we literally only have 2, maybe 3 classes, depending on our legal writing schedule, but 2 classes a day.
But that doesn't mean we only have 2 1-hour-long classes a day.
It's not that simple.
We are so busy.
So I think at the beginning of the year, they told us the American Bar Association, which is, they basically oversee the bar exam, which is what we need to take to pass to become a lawyer. They said for every hour of class, you need, and I quote, at least 3 to 4 hours. So truly,
sounds about right.
What they recommend is probably 4 to 5 hours a class a day. So when we're only having 2 classes, my grandma really struggled with the conception of this because she was like, what do you mean you're that busy? You only have 2 classes. No, we are studying for 12 hours a day and we only have 2 hours of class. Yeah. So that's the most stressful part of it, is that you have 5 to 10 hours of just studying alone.
It's very self-disciplined. Yes. Because you're only in class for an hour. So my best friend, she just started dental school over at UNMC right next to the law school. It's really fun. But she has classes all day long and she's at school all day long. And she was a little bit confused, like, oh, but you have time in between to like go do whatever you want. Like, no, you do your learning in the classroom. I do most of my learning outside the classroom. I'm reading, I'm briefing the cases, I'm looking at the videos that help me, I'm studying just so we can go into class and have a discussion about it. But we do most of our learning outside of the classroom.
Which is so interesting. And that is the biggest switch, I think, from undergraduate. And I bet you can agree. Just because we had and when we first got into law school, we had no idea what to study or how to study outside of class. So a lot of it for the first few weeks was just fumbling around, trying to figure out what helped me understand my readings enough, what even I was even supposed to get out of these readings, because we were reading cases from like the 1600s, guys. It was so hard to read. Like, you don't understand. Old English is the hardest thing to understand. And sometimes we would go into class and our professors would be like, was everything clear as mud today? And I think that was the best way to explain it, was it is as clear as mud sometimes. But yeah, just trying to figure out that study schedule on your own was crazy.
I think the reason our school kind of emphasized not teaching us how to study, not teaching us what to do in between classes, was so that you can figure it out on your own. Because again, we kind of talked about it earlier. Everybody's different. Everybody has different study habits. I've seen some people highlight and underline in their book, and that's all they do. Me, I have to handwrite everything, because handwriting it is, to me, learning it another way beyond just reading it in the book. And I have to look at my Quimby videos after I read the case. And it takes me a long time to understand and digest a case, whereas some people can just highlight and underline and they're good to go. So everybody's different with their study habits.
And I think that was really great for me to figure out what actually worked for me, because I'm applying that to a lot of other areas of life where for a long time I was not understanding why maybe I wasn't getting as much good focus time or good deep work time. But now I'm realizing it's just because I was studying or approaching things wrong, which was really cool for me. Man, it was a tough first few weeks though, just trying to figure that out.
It was.
I remember we would go into class and we would just sit down and we would say, I think this is what it was, but you can never know. Like, we would sit down and we would say, I think it was this. And then you would go into class and sometimes you were affirmed, but sometimes it was so far off. Like, we would not get the point at all.
Or we'll sit down and be like, Ashlee, do you know what this case was about? Do you know what you read? No, I don't know what I read.
I read it 4 times. I read it 4 times and I had no idea.
Still don't understand.
So it's gotten better now, but I think that was just like the thing, was you were just so stumbling blindly through the first couple of weeks that it was so interesting.
I think something that I have to remember with law school is that you're in law school to learn the law. You shouldn't already know it. So I'm going to be lost. Yeah, I'm going to be confused. That's part of the learning process. If you already knew it all, if you already understood it all, you wouldn't even need to go through law school.
Yeah, and I think that's like a great point just for everything else in life too, is you're not going to know everything. So going through this stuff and like taking it as a learning curve is so important, and as a learning experience has been so important for me, because even with like working out or stuff like that, I'm taking it now as I'm using this as a learning experience, and I'm not going to get it perfect.
Yeah, we're all going through life for the first time together,
and that's really helped me put it into a bigger picture, I think. But another thing about law school that I don't know if a lot of people know is we are graded on only one final exam at the end of the semester. So I don't know, your friend in dental school, does she get graded on things throughout the year?
She, I believe, has her midterms this week. We in any of our classes don't have midterms, or at least I don't. I think some of the other professors have a midterm or like a low weighted midterm. But no, everything you learn through the 16-week semester is tested on one test at the very end.
Yep. So you really are going through it just blindly and doing your best work.
Yeah, but I think our professors are doing a good job at preparing us. We got practice exam questions. We have access to their old exams.
Which is so nice.
So we can kind of gauge if we're understanding it or if we're going to do well on the final exam.
Yeah.
And we kind of know what to expect.
Yeah. I like that you brought that up too, because it's almost as if they give us all of the resources we need. You just have to figure out how to use them best.
Yes.
So I like that. I think
they really do set us up for success.
Yes. And it's fun. I feel like a lot of the tone of this has been just explaining the whole thing. I personally, and I know you do too, but I love law school. Like, it's been so fun and motivating to learn about this stuff. It's just been a challenge. And I think taking it again as a learning experience has been a good shift in my mindset. So yeah. Okay, now let's talk about how your lifestyle has changed since joining law school.
It's changed a lot. So undergrad, I was busy. I had jobs, I had internships, I was in a sorority, I was a full-time student, but
wow,
I was nowhere near as busy as I am now.
Right.
And my only involvement is the law school right now. Yeah, it's definitely been a huge change. I was a criminal justice major, which is notoriously maybe not the most difficult major there is. So I did have a lot of free time. So yeah, going into law school, what was good is I kind of knew what to expect. I'd heard from other law students that, yeah, it's a lot of work. It's overwhelming, but it's manageable. It's doable. You'll be able to do it. And I find that to be very true. It is a lot of work. It's very time consuming, but it's manageable. Like, I can get it all done. I feel like being prepared that it was going to be a lot of work was very helpful, but yeah, it's definitely a huge shift.
And I think a big part of it too is the mental aspect of it. It's a way more strenuous on you mentally than anything. And I never really expected how much doubt would come into play, and how much even hearing how other people feel about certain things would come into play. When I hear somebody being negative, sometimes it gets into my head. So I've really had to learn to associate myself not just with positive people, but also like monitoring my own self-talk, because your self-talk has been so important. But now we are moving on to another break, and I just want to say thank y'all for listening. Again, this is Above the Noise with Ashlee Mitchell and our guest, Brooklyn Miller.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sapp Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sapp Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sapp Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sapbros.net today. Sapp Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
If the power is out, traffic lights might be too. If you come across a dark intersection, treat it like a four-way stop. See more tips at les.com/safety.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks. Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
This fall, Baumgars has everything you need to get your farm ready for the season. Stock up on livestock feed, deer corn, and pine shavings to keep your animals fed and your farm running smoothly. Need tools for your fall projects? Grab DeWalt power tools and grass seed to keep your fields in top shape before winter. From your barn to your backyard, Baumgars has you covered. Get ready for the season with everything you need to finish those fall fix-ups. Baumgars, field, farm, and fall fix-ups.
Are you looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through October at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines. Or lock in a 2.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by a qualified standard rate for another 36 months. Whether you're thinking of this year's harvest or planning ahead, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your local Landmark Implement for more details, or check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Schaefer's is celebrating its 79th anniversary with special rebates, financing, savings, and free delivery store-wide.
Update your home with innovative Samsung appliances and save up to an additional $900 with rebates. Samsung innovation saves you energy and time with easy-to-connect appliance technology. Plus, during Schaefer's anniversary, get free delivery on your appliance purchase.
So hurry in during Schaefer's 79th anniversary event, going on now.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Back to Above the Noise on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, Ashlee Mitchell.
Welcome back, guys. It is your host, Ashlee Mitchell, and this is my guest, Brooklyn Miller, and you are watching Above the Noise. Brooklyn, this is going to be pretty quick. This is our last segment, but I want to hear about where you see yourself after law school and what do you see yourself working with?
So I kind of have interest in a few different pathways that are kind of on opposite ends of the board, but one thing is I've always dreamed about joining the FBI or some other government agency. So whether that's being an attorney for a government agency or being a criminal profiler for the FBI, because I do really love psychology and criminology together. But if that side doesn't work out, I would also enjoy being a family attorney or a family law attorney. I have a little bit of experience with divorce law, with adoptions, stuff like that. I had an internship at Child Protective Services. So family law really draws me in. I know I said I was a criminal justice major, but I will not be practicing criminal law.
After our criminal law course, it's for sure a little bit intimidating.
Yeah.
Didn't you mentor a young girl as well? Is that what you were talking about?
Yes. Well, so that was separate from my Child Protective Services mentorship. That one I got to shadow the caseworkers who worked with the families. But yeah, I did mentor a youth who was in the Youth Rehabilitation and Treatment Center in Hastings.
Yep.
Yes. I always get Kearney and Hastings confused. But yeah, I got to kind of help her through some tough times in her life. And it was very rewarding, very, very, taught me a lot of lessons. I actually wrote some of my personal statement about that.
Wow. So Brooklyn and I were in the same class, but different campuses, I believe. And we did the same thing. So did that motivate you a little bit about going into family law?
Yes, it did. And especially on the juvenile side, if I do decide to practice some criminal law, it would be on the juvenile side. But yeah, getting to work with kids who kind of were dealt bad cards and maybe don't have people to speak up for them.
Yeah. Okay. Last question, I believe, unless we have more time. But if you could tell younger Brooklyn anything, what would you tell her?
So I would tell my younger self that it's okay to not have everything figured out. I kind of get wrapped in my head about wanting to have my life planned out, wanting to know what I'm going to do in the future, but you don't always know what's going to happen. So just remembering that God has a plan for you. You can't always be in control of what's going to happen. So that's Also, the exciting part about life is the unknown. My boyfriend told me that when, like, 6 months ago, I didn't know where I was going to go to law school, what state I was going to live in, like, what am I going to be doing? And he's like, well, if you knew what was going to happen with life, it wouldn't be exciting. Like, that's the fun part, is the unknown. So I would just tell my younger self that it's okay to not know exactly what's going to happen in 6 months or 10 years.
That's so good. Wow, what a great way to end off the show. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Again, this is Above the Noise. I'm your host, Ashlee Mitchell, and this was our guest for the day, Brooklyn Miller.